The beeping of the hospital monitors faded into the background as I lay there, staring at the sterile white ceiling. At 72, after a routine but exhausting knee replacement surgery, all I wanted was to get home. My son, Alex, knew about it for months. He'd promised to be there, to drive me back to my quiet suburban house in Seattle. But as the afternoon dragged on, my phone stayed silent. The nurse, a kind woman named Carla, checked in every half hour. "Your ride's coming soon, right, Mr. Harlan?" I'd nod, forcing a smile, but inside,
doubt not at me.
Finally, at 3 p.m., I dialed Alex's number. It rang twice before he picked up. His voice clipped over the hum of background chatter. "Dad."
Hey.
"What's up?" I cleared my throat, the pain meds making my words slur just a bit. "Surgery went fine. They're discharging me now. You on your way?" There was a pause, too long for comfort. "Look,
Dad.
I'm slammed here. The big launch party's tonight for the new cafe branch. Investors, influencers, the works. Can't you just grab a lift? I'll Venmo you the fare." His words hit like a cold wave. Slammed? For a 20-minute drive? I'd been his silent backbone for 6 years, pouring my life savings into his dream of building Harlan Brews, a chain of artisanal coffee shops that had taken off across the Pacific Northwest. But he didn't know the full extent, not really. I'd structured it all through my lawyer, Evelyn Ruiz, as a majority stake in Harlan Enterprises, LLC. 65% mine, 35% his. Every lease, every roaster, every trademark under my name, my guarantees. I'd done it to protect him, to give him the freedom to shine without the weight of failure crushing him early on.
But now,
hearing his casual dismissal, something shifted. "Alex, I just came out of surgery. Major one. Can't you spare the time?" Another pause. And I heard his wife,
Mia,
murmuring in the background. "Tell him we're swamped.
Babe.
This is our night." Alex sighed. "Dad, you're tough. It's outpatient stuff. And honestly, Mia and I have been talking. You've been leaning on us a lot lately. Time to handle some things solo. You know, builds character." Builds character? At my age? After I'd cashed out my retirement funds, $950,000 up front, plus $15,000 monthly advisory fees that kept the lights on during lean times. That added up to over $1.8 million of my nest egg funneled into his self-made empire. I'd co-sign the loans for his sleek Tesla, the mortgage on their lakeside home in Bellevue, even the luxury trips they flaunted on Instagram. Bless life. They'd caption, never mentioning the strings attached. The line went quiet, and I felt a heat rising in my chest, not from anger. Not yet. But from a deep, settling clarity. "Fine,
Alex.
Enjoy your party." I hung up, my hand trembling slightly. Carla returned with discharge papers. "Everything okay?" I nodded. "Just peachy." But as I signed the forms, my mind raced. I pulled up Evelyn's number. She'd been my attorney for 3 decades, handling the sale of my old construction firm, my late wife's will. She answered on the first ring. "Thomas. How'd the knee go?" "Fine. But I need a favor. Pull the Harlan Enterprises file. All of it." Her tone sharpened. "What's wrong?" I told her, the call, the dismissal, the party that mattered more than his old man. She whistled low. "You want to remind Alex who's really calling the shots? Be at the launch tonight. Bring the docs. Thomas, this could blow up." It already has. I arranged a lift home, the driver chatting obliviously about Seattle traffic. At home, I eased into my recliner, the surgical pain throbbing, but it was nothing compared to the ache of betrayal. I opened my desk drawer, pulling out copies of everything Evelyn had insisted on. The LLC papers, Thomas Harlan 65%, Alex Harlan 35%. Initial investment, $950,000 from me. Monthly infusions documented as equity builds. Leases for 5 locations, all personally guaranteed by me. Business loans. Insurance policies. Even the supplier contracts tied to my credit. Alex had signed it all, grinning at the time. Family trusts family. Dad. But trust? That was eroding fast. My phone buzzed, $60 from Alex via Venmo. Memo, for the ride. Big night ahead. I stared at it, then texted him, thinking of dropping by the party. Support the family biz. His reply came quick. Dad. It's invite only. Networking vibe. You might feel out of place. Out of place in the empire I'd built? The slow burn ignited. I called Evelyn again. We're going nuclear? Educational. Evelyn. Just educational. By evening, I dressed in my best suit. Knee brace hidden under slacks. Evelyn picked me up. Her briefcase bulging. You sure? Never sure. The venue was buzzing, a trendy rooftop in downtown Seattle. String lights twinkling. Harlan Brew's logos everywhere. Alex was center stage, mic in hand, toasting with 150 guests. To hard work, grit, and building something from nothing. Applause rippled. Mia beamed beside him, posting live on her phone. I slipped in quietly. Evelyn at my side. Alex spotted me mid-speech, his smile faltering.
Dad.
What a surprise. I stepped forward, voice steady. Mind if I say a few words? The crowd murmured. Curious. Alex hesitated, then handed the mic. Folks, I'm Thomas Harlan, Alex's dad. Proud of what he's managed here. I paused, letting the word hang. But let's set the record straight. This isn't from nothing. It's from partnership. Evelyn opened her briefcase. Gas started as I held up the LLC docs. Harlan Enterprises, 65% mine. Every bean, every brew, built on my investment. Alex's face drained of color. Dad, what are you doing? Teaching respect. Son. The tension thickened. The night air heavy with unspoken regrets. The rooftop fell into a stunned hush as I stood there, documents in hand, the city lights of Seattle blurring behind me like distant stars. Alex's eyes darted from me to the papers, his confident facade cracking like thin ice. Mia whispered urgently in his ear, but he waved her off, stepping closer. Dad, this isn't the time. We're celebrating. Celebrating what?
Exactly?
His version of success, where I was just a footnote. I'd watched from the shadows for years as he paraded his achievements, magazine features calling him a millennial mogul, TEDx talks on bootstrapping dreams. But bootstrapping? With my boots? The initial $950,000 came from selling my construction tools and dipping into savings I'd built over 40 years of backbreaking work. Those monthly $15,000 wires? Labeled as consulting, but really equity injections to cover payroll during COVID shutdowns. Supplier debts when coffee prices spiked. I'd guaranteed the SBA loans that expanded to 5 locations. My signature on every dotted line because Alex's credit was spotty from early failed ventures. And the perks? Their home overlooking Lake Washington, co-signed by me. The European vacations, the designer clothes, all fueled by profits from a business I owned the lion's share of. Yet here I was, post-surgery, dismissed like an inconvenience. Time? You've had 6 years.
Alex.
Time I funded. The guests shifted uncomfortably, phones emerging to capture the drama. A local blogger I recognized leaned in.
Recorder ready.
Evelyn handed me the first stack, lease agreements. Effective immediately. As majority owner, I'm suspending operations for a full audit. Whispers turned to murmurs. Alex blanched. You can't. We have staff. Bookings. Our staff. Son. They'll get paid leave. This is about accountability. Mia interjected, her voice sharp. Thomas. This is family. Let's talk private. Family? Where was that sentiment when I called from the hospital bed? For still in my arm? I'd counted the ceiling tiles to distract from the pain, waiting for a son who never showed. Instead, a Venmo ping for cab fare. The irony stung deeper than any scalpel. I signed the suspension notice, the pen scratching like judgment. Next, bank accounts. Dual signatures required for all transactions over $500. Evelyn nodded approvingly. Alex grabbed my arm. Dad. Stop. This destroys everything. Everything I built. You mean? The crowd was hooked now. A mix of schadenfreude and sympathy. A venture capitalist I'd met once approached. Thomas. Is this legit? I held up the LLC cert. Ironclad. Evelyn here drafted it. Alex turned to the guests. Desperate. Everyone. This is a misunderstanding. Harlan Brews is thriving because of my vision. Your vision. My capital. I'd encouraged him. Sure, sat in on early tastings, suggested locations. But he'd grown arrogant, posting hustle culture memes while ignoring my calls for updates. Last Thanksgiving, their Instagram showed a lavish spread in their home, the one I'd helped finance, captioned, "Grateful for our hard-earned blessings." No mention of me. The slow drip of resentment had built to this flood. I signed another doc, insurance review. All policies under my guarantee. Need to ensure they're sound. Mia's phone buzzed incessantly. Probably alerts from their social feeds exploding. Thomas. Think about the employees, 45 people relying on us. On us.
Mia.
I'll cover their wages. Alex's voice cracked. Dad.
Why now?
Because I couldn't pick you up? There it was, the admission. Raw and public.
Partly.
But mostly because respect isn't optional. The night air chilled. Tension coiling tighter. Evelyn pulled the final punch. Vendor contracts. As guarantor, I'm notifying all suppliers of a hold. I signed, the sound echoing in the silence. Alex slumped against the bar. The Harlan Brews logo mocking him. This kills our reputation. Ours. Son. And it can be fixed if you learn. Guests began trickling out. Whispers following. A reporter cornered Alex. Comment on the ownership reveal? He stammered.
No.
It's family business. Evelyn and I left amid the chaos. Her car waiting below. Thomas. That was masterful. Or madness. Necessary. My phone lit up with missed calls from Alex. I silenced it. The city speeding by. Some lessons hit hardest in the dark. By morning, my inbox overflowed with news alerts. Seattle coffee kingpins empire rocked by family feud. Photos from the party showed my stern face. Alex's shock. I sipped coffee, ironically, from a Harlan mug at my kitchen table. Knee throbbing but mind clear. The doorbell rang at 9:30. Alex stood there, disheveled. Tesla parked crookedly. Dad. We need to talk. I let him in. No warmth yet. He paced the living room. You nuked it all. Calls from investors pulling out. Staff panicking. I corrected a narrative. He sat, head in hands. I read the papers last night. Really read them. 65%? I thought it was loans. Gifts. You signed. Alex. Trusted you. Thought it was formalities. Trust but verify, Evelyn's mantra. Now it was mine. Gifts? $1.8 million? That's not pocket change.
He winced.
I got caught up. The buzz. The growth. Forgot the foundation.
Forgot me.
The pain meds dulled the physical ache. But this was deeper. And the hospital?
Stressed.
Stupid. I'm sorry. Sorry? Words. But actions spoke louder. My phone rang, Evelyn. Suppliers are holding shipments. What's the play? I eyed Alex. Hold. He looked up. Dad. How do we fix this? Alex's question hung in the air like steam from my untouched coffee. The kitchen clock ticking away the seconds. Fix this? After years of me fixing his messes, the overdrawn accounts I'd quietly covered. The bad press I'd spun with old contacts.
But now,
with the empire teetering, he wanted a quick patch. I leaned back, me protesting. Depends on what this means to you. He rubbed his temples, eyes bloodshot from a sleepless night. The business. Our family, everything.
family.
The word twisted in my gut. I'd built my construction firm from scratch. 40 years of dawn starts and bruised hands. All to give my kids a leg up. My daughter lived across the country. Independent. But Alex? He'd always been the dreamer. The one with big ideas but shaky execution. 6 years ago, he'd pitched Harlan Brews over dinner. Artisanal roasts. Community vibes, Seattle's next big thing. I'd seen potential. But more. I'd seen my boy needing direction. So I dove in. Not as a handout, but a structured partnership. Evelyn had warned. Family and money mix like oil and water. But I'd insisted.
Now.
Here we were. Oil slick everywhere. Start with truth.
Alex.
Call the press. Own the story. His face fell. Admit you're the real owner? That's career suicide. Lying was the suicide pact. He paced again, glancing at framed photos, him graduating college, tuition I paid. Our family at his wedding, venue I funded. Mia thinks we can sue. Challenge the LLC.
Sue?
Laughter bubbled up. Bitter. Evelyn's airtight. You'd lose more than the business. He stopped. Defeated. What do you want? I pulled a folder from my drawer, fresh docs Evelyn had prepped. Option 1, dissolve. Liquidate. You get 35% after debts. His eyes widened. That'd be pennies. Leases alone. About $400,000 total left. Your cut. $140K. Start over. Dad. No. Option 2. Renegotiate. I stay majority. You manage ops. Full transparency, books open. Decisions shared. And publicly, credit where due. He scanned the papers. Voice trembling. Acknowledge you built it? We built it. Partnership. The phone rang again, staff lead.
Probably.
Alex ignored it. And us? Father-son. Respect both ways. Calls answered. Needs met. No more, too busy. He nodded slowly. The weight settling. I screwed up.
Dad.
The party. The hospital. Ego took over.
Ego.
It was more entitlement bred from unchecked success. I'd enabled it. Staying silent to let him shine. But silence had cost respect. Evelyn texted. Audit team ready. Green light. I held off.
Alex met my eyes.
I'll do the interviews. Tell the truth. Relief flickered, but caution held. Actions. Son. Not promises. By noon, he'd called a reporter friend. I listened from the hall as he spilled. My dad's the backbone. His investment made it possible. The article dropped that afternoon. Harlan Brews founder credits dad in ownership twist. Social media buzzed. Some backlash on Alex's deception, but others praised the honesty. Staff group chat lit up with questions. Alex addressed them personally. Reopening soon? Paycheck secure. Mia arrived later. Tense but subdued. Thomas.
We get it now.
Sorry for everything. Apologies flowed. But I watched for follow-through. That evening, we met Evelyn at her office. Reinstate ops? She asked. Alex nodded. With changes. We signed new terms. Monthly meetings. Veto rights for me on big spends. Public co-ownership branding. As we left, Alex hugged me awkwardly. Thanks for not torching it. Torching us. You mean? The drive home was quiet. Seattle rain pattering. Doubt lingered. Could habits change? But seeds of hope sprouted. Next day, locations reopened quietly. Customers returned, curious about the drama. Alex texted, sales up 20%. Buzz helps. I visited the flagship store. Staff greeting me as Mr. Harlan Sr. Alex pulled me aside. Taste this new blend? Your input. Small, but significant. Weeks passed, the new rhythm settling. He called regularly, not just for sign-offs. Mia invited me for dinner, no filters. Just family. One night. Over steak. Alex admitted, I thought success was mine alone. Forgot the team, forgot you. Teamwork. Son. Always. The knee healed slower than the rift. But both mended. Harlan Brews thrived. Rebranded as a family legacy. Interviews shifted to partnership lessons. Alex's ego deflated, replaced by gratitude. But in quiet moments, I wondered, had I been too harsh? The public spectacle, necessary evil or overkill, respect earned through fire. But at what cost? Rain drummed against the windows of the Bellevue home as I sat across from Alex and Mia at their dining table. The scent of roasted chicken filling the air. It was our first real family dinner since the blow-up. 3 weeks post-reveal. Alex carved the bird with careful precision. A far cry from the rushed man who dismissed me from a hospital bed. Dad. Try the glaze, new recipe inspired by our honey latte. I took a bite, nodding appreciatively.
Solid.
Could work on the menu. He smiled. Genuine. I'll note that. Mia poured wine. Her earlier frost thawed. Thomas. The follow-up article was great. People love the redemption arc. Redemption. The press had latched on, turning our mess into a case study on family biz pitfalls. Alex had done 4 podcasts, each crediting my role. My dad's vision and capital made Harlan Brews possible. I managed, but he built the foundation. Followers dipped initially, truth hurts hype, but rebounded with authenticity fans. Business boomed. The drama drew crowds. But tonight wasn't about metrics. It was test ground for our new terms. Alex cleared plates, then sat back. Dad. About the expansion loan, your thoughts? The old Alex would have signed without asking.
Now.
Deference. Show me the projections. We pored over spreadsheets. My construction honed eye spotting risks. Scale back to 3 locations. Safer. He agreed.
No pushback.
Mia watched, then spoke softly. We should have seen this coming. The signs, you calling more. Us brushing off. The signs? Like last birthday. When they forgot, amid a launch. Sending a generic e-card. Or Christmas. Their posts of tropical getaways while I ate alone. I'd funded those escapes via bonuses from profits I owned. The entitlement had crept in slowly, like mold in damp walls. Surgery day crystallized it. Waking groggy. Phone silent. Nurses pitying looks.
Till lift ride home.
Driver asking. Family not around.
Salt in the wound.
Water under the bridge. I said.
But was it?
Evelyn called later. Insurance renewed under joint approval. All good. Solid. Hanging up. Alex met my gaze. Dad, if I'd picked you up, would this have happened? Honesty time. Probably not the spectacle. But the talk. Inevitable. He nodded. I needed the wake up. Wake up. Public humiliation. Empire on brink. Harsh? Yes. Effective? Undeniably. Staff morale improved with transparency. One barista told me. Feels more stable now. Alex consulted me on hires, menus, even personal stuff. Mia and I are thinking therapy. For us. For family. Progress. But scars lingered. Social invites trickled in, old friends curious about the Harlan drama. I declined most, preferring quiet. One evening,
Alone.
I reviewed old bank statements, transfers tallying $1.8 million. Worth it? For the sun emerging now.
Yes.
Mia texted, drive you to PT tomorrow? I accepted. Small acts rebuilding trust. A month on, at a chamber event, Alex introduced me, my partner and dad, Thomas Harlan. Applause felt earned. Back home, knees stronger. I reflected. Power plays in family, dangerous. But sometimes the only reset. Had I lost anything? Pride. Maybe. Gained respect? Absolutely. The phone rang, Alex. Just checking in. No agenda. Healing. The aroma of fresh ground coffee enveloped me as I stepped into the original Harlan Brews location. The bell jingling like an old friend. For months post-drama, the place hummed with mid-morning energy, patrons typing on laptops, baristas steaming milk with practice flair. Alex spotted me from behind the counter, waving me over. Dad. Perfect timing. New seasonal blend. Your verdict. He poured a cup. Steam curling up. I sipped. The notes of caramel and spice dancing.
Spot on.
Added. He grinned, noting it down. This was our new normal, weekly visits. Collaborative tweaks. No more solo reigns. Mia joined us. Apron tied. Thomas. The online orders spiked after your joint interview. The peace and entrepreneur. From feud to flourish, a father-son business revival. Alex had opened up about lessons in humility I'd shared on silent partnerships pitfalls. Readers resonated. Sales followed. But beyond bucks, our bond mended. Dinners became routine.
Calls genuine.
Last weekend, they'd helped reorganize my garage, no complaints. Team effort, Alex said. Reflecting, the surgery's scar faded faster than emotional ones. That hospital dismissal? A catalyst. I'd pondered alternatives, private confrontation. Maybe. But Alex's ego needed public recalibration. Evelyn agreed. You saved the business and him.
Saved?
By nearly dismantling? Paradoxical. But true. He emerged wiser. Grateful. One quiet evening. Over whiskey at my place. Alex confessed. I almost chose dissolution that day. Pride nearly won. What stopped you? Realizing I'd lose more than money, you. The admission hung. Heavy with what-ifs. If he'd walked, I'd have rebuilt solo. Perhaps. But family? Fractured forever. Instead,
Growth.
Harlan Brews expanded thoughtfully. My input key. Staff parties included me. One even joked. The real boss is here. Laughter.
Light.
Yet, a lingering question. When does protection become enabling? When does correction cross to cruelty? I didn't have answers. Just experience. Alex called. Dad. Table reserved tonight. Bring Evelyn, she earned it. Dinner was lively. Toasts to partnerships. As we parted, Alex hugged tight. Thanks for the lesson. Thanks for learning it. Driving home, Seattleites reflecting on wet streets. I felt peace. Respect. Hard one. Bound us stronger. But in the rear view, a whisper. What if next time? Families evolve. Lessons echo. The true test?
Time.